Right, welcome to another PE lesson. We are looking at our pacing for endurance races. Okay, so combined with a lot of running, we need our math skills in this lesson as well. Okay, we will be running a lap or length of your garden, depending on how you want to do it or how big or small your garden is. We will be doing laps. Okay, you'll need a stopwatch, which you can run around with, pencil and paper. Okay, to record your lap times, and hopefully you should see a pattern in your times. Okay, we'll start with one lap. Okay, we've got predicted and actual, so in the one lap here we can't actually predict how long it's going to take, so we would put our time, whether it be 15 seconds there, and then on lap 2 we know that we're running twice as far, so it should be double that one. So 15 seconds, we should run 2 laps in 30. We should run 4 laps in 60 and 8 laps in 120, so 2 minutes. Okay, so take your time to work out those maths. Your actual scores might be a little bit random, but hopefully they're really close to that number. And if you run exactly the same speed as you did on your first lap, exactly the same for all of them, then it would all match up perfectly, which is unlikely, but we're aiming to be a couple of seconds either side. Okay, and if you are running around with your stopwatch, it does make it a little bit easier to know where to speed up or slow down. If you want a challenge, leave your stopwatch at the finish and run round and then pause it once you've done that amount of laps. You can see whether your pacing was right. Okay, we're going to hand over to Miss Clark, who is going to run her first lap and then come up and write her time on the board. And in this lesson, we're going to run through it all first, and then it's over to you guys to get on with it, without the pausing and playing that we've done previously. Right, over to you, Miss Clark. So, Miss Clark's just getting her stopwatch.
Okay, so keep us starting and finishing point.
So, Miss Clark's going to run one lap around the green line. She's got to make sure she does it exactly the same each time to make it a fair test. Right, so that's our lap 1 done.
11 seconds.
Right, so we've got 11 seconds on the board, so we can work out our predicted scores now for all of the laps. We've got to make sure that our pace was right. If it was too fast, you might find out by lap 2 or 4 laps, you might find out that it was a bit too quick. At any point you want to start again because your pace wasn't quite right, you can. Okay, so now Miss Clark is running 2 laps and it should take somewhere close to 22 seconds. So we're aiming to run exactly the same. So it's quite a lot of concentration. Making sure we're sticking to the edge and making it the same each time. So that should have been 11 seconds. Now we're aiming for our second lap. And pause.
Ooh, 22.7.
22.7. We'll take that. 22.
I'll take that.
Right. Yes. So we can see that the actual predicted is close. So if Miss Clark has set a good pace, then we should see some accurate times. 4 laps. That's why I make sure to keep counting. So that should have been 11 seconds. This should be coming up to 22 seconds. So we're halfway. A little glimpse of stopwatch there to see if we're getting it right. And that's 3. This is where it might be tempting to speed up, but you've got to run exactly the same. And as I said at the beginning, this is where you should find out whether your pace was too fast or too slow.
44.59.
44. We're on course.
Brilliant. I'm quite chuffed myself.
You might find that the distance from the actual predicted time gets further away the longer you run, which is perfectly fine. Right, now we're on 8 laps, 88 seconds. That's 1. 2. 3. So it's going to be harder to maintain your pace because you're running for a longer time. So at the beginning, if you can run with the stopwatch, it's a bit easier. If you run without it, then you're kind of in your head trying to work out the pace, which you would do in a race. How many is that, Miss Clark? 7.
And the pace is coming down. I'm not going to stop.
So you notice Miss Clark is still running exactly the same around the outside and not cutting corners, because that will affect your time.
88.9.
There you go. So still within a second of her time, so there's only 88 there. Right, that is what we expect from everyone to do, 8 laps or 8 lengths. For a challenge, you can keep doubling your laps until you cannot maintain your original pace. So Ms. Clark would then do 16 laps, and then possibly 32, and we're getting quite high there, but just try and work out whether your pace was right or not. Send in your pieces of paper or a photo of it, and we can see how well you've paced yourself. As we said at the beginning, you can readjust your pace and start again at any point. And 1 lap shouldn't take you too long. Okay? Important to pace in a race so that you know that you can run your quickest time possible. So, and some final words from Miss Clark on how she felt during her running.
It was good actually. It was good actually using the stopwatch so you could see when you're at the halfway point, because then you can notice whether or not you can speed up or slow down. So, and the breathing does kick in after a few laps. So you've got to you always feel like you're going to kind of pick the pace up and be a bit fast, but actually you still need to maintain that same pace. So try not to think that you've got to speed up to get quicker, because that's actually not the purpose of the session today. So well done.
Right, over to you guys.